What's up, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for New Comic Book Day, December 8th, 2021. I picked up 11 different issues this week, and I cannot wait to talk about these books. I got some Marvel, of course, my indies. I'm sorry, DC fans, I did not get the new Batman, but I do want to talk about it down low in the comment section with you. And as always, before I get started off on this week's top 10 list, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content that's going to keep you up to date on all of the latest releases. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you hit the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this top 10 list. So I hope you all are having a fantastic day so far today and you got all your new comics this week on time. I have talked to a lot of different people who said their shops got all of their books. There were no issues with them. So it seems as though maybe all of our shipment delays are behind us. Seems really promising going forward. If you're still having issues, let's talk about it a little bit more down low. And make sure you stick around to the very end of this video to see if you were last week's giveaway winner. So with this list, I picked up 11 issues this week. One of them did not make the top 10 list. I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with that book. But as always, just be aware, once I get a little bit into these books, there's probably going to be some sort of spoiler, but I'm going to put a tag at the bottom indicating that a spoiler is about to happen so you can skip forward. So the book that did not make the top 10 list this week is Images, Frontiersman, issue number 3. This is cover A. I have talked very highly about this book in the past. I love the artwork. I think issue number 2, the artwork alone probably should have gotten it number 1, but I based a lot of these on the story, not just the artwork. First issue, I really liked it. It seemed new, seemed fresh. The artwork really drew me in. Second issue took a little bit different of a path, a little bit weird of an issue, but I still really liked it. This one, it's kind of getting back to the first issue and just kind of his motives, who he is as a character. A couple new villains are popping up, but the series just really isn't drawing me in like I was hoping it would be. So for those reasons, Frontiersman issue number 3 did not make the top 10 list, but now let's move on to the real list. Alright, so to get started on this top 10 list, we've got coming in at number 10 this week, this is Boom Studios, Basilisk, issue number 5. This is cover A. Now, this was a contender with Frontiersman issue number 3 to not make the top 10 list. I had a really hard time picking which one was actually going to take that 10th spot. I gave it to Basilisk because it's the 5th issue deep. I do actually really like the series. I think it's been very good so far. I love the artwork. But this issue, it feels like there's been a lot of time since the release of the 4th issue. I don't know how much time went by, but I kind of forgot what was actually going on in the story. And this issue really didn't progress it much at all. It kind of just retold us what happened in that 4th issue, and all the different sides were kind of dealing with what just happened. They're trying to figure out what to do next, and it didn't really progress the story all that much. And to be honest, I really just thought the issue was okay. I am really looking forward to seeing where they go with this. I know Colin Bunn can tell a great story. This issue, just kind of an outlier with the rest of the series. So for those reasons, we've got Basilisk, issue number 5, coming in at number 10. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 9. This is Images. What's the furthest place from here? Issue number 2. This is cover A, and now this one hurts for me to put at number 9. I actually really like the story, and I really like this issue as well. The artwork is okay, but I'm putting it at number 9 because despite me really being interested in the story, I want to know more about these characters, who these different groups are, and honestly, what happened to the world. I'm just not liking how they're actually telling the story. I don't think it's being told very well, even though I am interested in it. If you're reading this series, you're going to know what I'm talking about, but it's almost as if every 2 to 3 pages, it's the start of a brand new chapter. So they're starting something, and once we kind of hit the point where, for example, in this issue, they all kind of came together and they decide to flip this bus and fight these guys. I think they flipped the bus, and then all of a sudden it was just next chapter, and it shows them kind of on the road. And then once they hit that spot and whatever they were trying to accomplish, while it was kind of happening, it just brought us to the next chapter. I don't like how the story is being told despite me being very interested in it. So for those reasons, it pains me to put it at number 9, but we've got What's the Furthest Place from Here, issue number 2, coming in at number 9. I do want to talk about this one a little bit more down low with you guys, though. And next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 8. This is Marvel's The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 80. This is a Beyond tie-in, and it says in this issue, the hottest couple in comics is back together. That's what the front cover tells me. I don't know, to each their own, I guess, but I wouldn't call them the hottest couple in comics. But hey, it is what it is. But this issue, it's exactly what it says it is. It's Amazing Spider-Man Beyond tie-in, and in my opinion, I'd say this is very important to the main story. So if you are reading that, I'd suggest picking this one up. I feel like the last Beyond tie-in didn't really have anything to do with the main story, but this one definitely does. This issue, despite it being a tie-in, I honestly thought it was really good. So we've got Aunt May, Doc Ock, they're pretty much teaming up, they're doing some detective work to figure out what's going on with Peter. They're trying to figure out a cure to give the doctors, and that's honestly what the whole issue was. But we got to see them together, not as a couple, but kind of you see them have a couple moments here and there, but then we got a lot of action too. So overall, very good story. If you're reading the main series, definitely pick this one up. I feel like it's very important to the actual main current run that's happening, but for those reasons, we've got The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 80, Beyond tie-in, coming in at number 8. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 7. This is Aftershock's new one. We've got Tales of Mother F. Goose. This is just a one-shot. This is cover A for it, the awesome Scarface homage. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to pick it up. But before I get into my actual opinion of this issue, I'm just going to read off the description because it's honestly the best way to describe this one-shot. So it says, the three little pigs are gluttonous casino owners. Little Miss Muffet is a hard-nosed cop with arachnophobia. The three blind mice are ocularly impaired assassins. Puss in Boots is a feline-faced scumbag. Welcome to Mother F. Goose, where your favorite fairy tales are turned into twisted characters right out of a Tarantino movie. I read that, knew it was an automatic pickup. Plus, I knew Aftershock kills it on all of their one-shots. If you haven't read any of them, definitely do yourself a favor and pick those up. This issue wasn't exactly what I thought it was, even though the description says that. I thought it was going to be kind of more animal-based. They were going to take kind of smaller stories and then make them twisted. That's not what it was at all. Instead, they kind of turned everyone into a human and gave them more of the fairy tale name and kind of associated it to a mob. I mean, the three little pigs, they kind of ran casinos, and then we had another character that was the wolf. So overall, it was a really cool story. It just wasn't exactly what I thought it was. But if you had a light week, do yourself a favor, definitely pick this one up. So for those reasons, we've got Tales of Mother F. Goose, one shot, coming in at number 7. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 6. This is Images, The Silver Coin, issue number 7. This is cover A, and you guys already know I love this series. I always talk very highly of it. The very first issue, one of my favorite issues that I think I've read all of 2020. The first issue of the newest arc, loved it as well. This issue, I thought it was honestly just okay. Every once in a while, they put an issue in the series that kind of progresses the storyline of the Silver Coin itself, and that's exactly what this one was. We saw the perspective of two different characters. One character's kind of telling us, I guess, a background story of the Silver Coin, while the other person is in possession of the actual Silver Coin, and we see everything kind of happening to him. So with that being said, not a bad issue. It just really wasn't on par in comparison to a lot of the other ones, in my opinion. Let's talk about it a little bit more down low, but for those reasons, we've got the Silver Coin, issue number 7, coming in at number 6. And here we go. We're down to the top 5 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 5 this week. This is Marvel's brand new miniseries. We've got Captain America, Iron Man, issue number 1. This is cover A. I honestly went into this with almost no expectations. I kept pretty much an open mind like I do with a lot of other new Marvel miniseries. But this one, it was honestly pretty solid. I like the artwork. I really like the storytelling. In this first issue, we mainly followed Iron Man. We got a little bit of backstory on another character that was featured in the Falcon Winter Soldier series. I didn't read that one, and I didn't feel like I need to read that to really get what was going on in this. But once we got a little bit of backstory out of the way, it followed pretty much every other Marvel miniseries. We've got a team up of superheroes trying to take down the bad guys. We got some action, plot development, but other than that, pretty standard for a Marvel series, but I did really like it. If you had a light week, definitely check it out. But for those reasons, we've got Captain America, Iron Man, issue number 1, coming in at number 5. And next up this week, we've got coming in at number 4. This is Images, Nita Hawes, Nightmare Blog, issue number 2. This is cover A, and this was a fantastic follow-up to that first issue. If you're a big fan of Philadelphia, I highly recommend checking this one out. I don't think they have to be read together. As of now, at least, the first issue for Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog referenced that they're kind of in the same world. The characters are slightly related. I'm not going to be spoiling that for you. You got to read Philadelphia for yourself. But as of now, this can be read by itself. So with the second issue, we got a lot more as to where the story itself is going to be going. The first issue really focused on who Nita Hawes is. We got background story, her blog, and just kind of setting up where the story is right now. The second issue focused more on the blog. She kind of read something that someone wrote to her, and she followed up that story. And kind of with that, we got the entire backstory on that character, and then it kind of focused back to Nita Hawes with her detective work and everything like that. Definitely check this out. This has been a fantastic series so far. I know it's only 2 issues deep, but give it a shot if you can. But for those reasons, we've got Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog, issue number 2, coming in at number 4. And now we're down to the final 3 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 3 this week. This is Marvel's brand new miniseries. We've got Devil's Reign, issue number 1. This is cover A. Now, I know I just got done talking about how I keep an open mind with a lot of Marvel miniseries, the new ones, but I had high expectations for this. I knew it was going to be awesome, and it definitely was. I love the artwork. The storytelling was fantastic, too. The one thing about this, if you are going into this series kind of blind, it did tie in with a lot of ongoing Marvel series. I think a little bit with the old Amazing Spider-Man volume, definitely Daredevil, and I stopped reading that series around issue 20-ish, and I still had a baseline as to what was going on in this. But you might be a little lost. I think you'll still get it, but just not fully. You won't understand some of the smaller details that they provide. But with this one, this is definitely going to be a spoiler. So Wilson Fisk, he's the mayor, and in some of the other Marvel series, we've got a law that's in place that's basically if you're any superhero under the age of 21, you have to, stop being a superhero or you could be arrested. Now, his new law is that any superhero can be arrested if you're doing any superhero-y things. Very cool. Really excited to see where they go with it. We got a lot of action, and just the artwork was awesome too. Give it a shot. We've got Devil's Reign, issue number 1, coming in at number 3. And now we're down to the final 2 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is AWA's Knighted, issue number 2. This is cover A, and this was a phenomenal follow-up to that first issue. I love the first one, but man, this one just provided so much more that I wanted to read. In the first issue, we got our main character, a nice backstory on him, and kind of what led him to being the knighted superhero. He didn't really want to take up the mantle, but in this issue, this is going to be a spoiler, he does take up the mantle just for a little bit, but then he feels the power, he sees what it kind of did to him and what it provided for the community, and then from there, a lot more stuff happened. You know how that story goes. New superhero, he doesn't do exactly what he's supposed to do, and then bad things happen from there. You definitely need to read this. AWA has a massive hit on their hands. So for those reasons, we've got Knighted, issue number 2, coming in at number 2. And this is it, my number 1 read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is AWA's brand new series. We've got The Crimson Cage, issue number 1. This is cover A, and this was such an incredible story. If you are a wrestling fan, this is an absolute must pick up. It's got some horror in it. It's got all of the wrestling aspects that a wrestling fan would enjoy. I really don't want to get into this one too much. Take that for what it is, but man, this one had so many twists and turns, and just the ending cliffhanger that it left us on. You need to pick this one up. So, like I said, I don't want to spoil this one. Please, let's talk about this one a little bit more down low in the comments section. I want to save this one for you guys. But without getting into it, I just had to tell you that this is hands down the number 1 read of the week. I loved it. But for those reasons, we've got The Crimson Cage, issue number 1, coming in at number 1. And now it's time for this week's giveaway. Congratulations to James Jeffrey for winning last week's giveaway. Comment down below on my pinned comment. We can discuss how I'm going to be getting this book out to you. As far as another giveaway, I'm going to be waiting until the new year. I've got something really good coming for you guys, so just hang tight on that. And thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.